What's up, everyone? It's Scotty with MoneyVest. So markets here basically flat on the day, with the S&P selling off a little bit over 15 basis points. The Dow Jones was slightly higher, and more importantly, the Dow Jones here, NASDAQ here is slightly higher. The Dow Jones pushing down a little bit over 40 basis points on the day. So we've got inflation numbers coming out later this week. I did a video going over those numbers earlier, so definitely do check out that video as well. Make sure that you drop a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate that, and link to our Discord and Patreon is going to be down below if you're interested in joining, and of course getting access to all the members only private videos, and of course be able to get access to all the intrinsic value spreadsheets, fair values, our watch list, and of course all the buy and sell alerts, options alerts, all the over 20 plus Discord channels also available with the link down below. So this right here is the market's performance. So Dow Jones here again selling off about 0.5%, S&P down about 15 basis points, and NASDAQ more or less flat, slightly up about 9 basis points. And Jeremy Siegel basically mentioned that S&P 500 jumped 10% to record highs, as rates crashing can be bad for the markets as well. So S&P 500 could surge by more than 10% to a record high of 5,200 this year, and plunging interest rates could spell trouble for stocks. The retired finance professor known as a Wizard of Wharton said the U.S. economy is growing at the Goldilocks pace, and it's not expanding quickly enough to scare the Federal Reserve into cooling it down, but it's still strong enough to fuel growth in corporate earnings and shore up stocks. If real economic growth stays strong, the Fed could keep rates exactly where they are, and we could have a strong equity market. And the rosy economic backdrop could underpin an 8 to 10% rise in the S&P 500 this year, and push smaller cap value stocks up 15% given their depressed valuations as well. And the Federal Reserve has raised interest rates, of course, from 0 to north of 5% since early 2022. And this right here is the entire state of the market, with Tesla selling off a little bit more, over 2.2%. Sold some new covered calls on Tesla. Amazon here up over 1.5%. Google up 1.4%. NVDA, Broadcom, AMD, Microsoft, all of them pushing up at least 1 to 2%. Apple here slightly down. Energy stocks, real estate, materials, utilities, and financials, they were all selling off here on the day a little bit. This right here is the entire state of the market, with majority of sectors and stocks selling off, with somewhat big tech was the only part of the market that was kind of holding up. So in the last one day, of course, comm services, technology, defenses pushing higher, with everything else has been selling off. And in the last 1 week, of course, we have a little bit of a split market, with again cyclicals, industrial, real estate, energy, and materials selling off, with healthcare, comm services, technology, and utilities pushing up. And in the last 1 month, of course, all sectors, all 11 sectors are green. This right here, we've got ethanol, lean hogs, coffee prices, canola, cocoa, all pushing higher, with sugar prices, natural gas, lumber, and orange juice selling off. In Bitcoin here, just a little bit over 46,000, and Ether just under 2,400 at the moment as well. So when it comes to the overall prices of crypto, so Bitcoin here just under 46,000, approaching that resistance once again at the moment, and that is going to be that level of resistance at $48,000 to $51,000. And Ether also just starting to see some momentum back higher. It's coming up to that almost 2,400 level at the moment, which again is going to be very, very solid. And when it comes to volatility, the VIX here is still pretty muted. It is sold back down to under 13 right now. And of course, it's been very, very muted, very, very subdued, considering that it's been trading inside this red rectangle between 11 and 12 at the moment, with a resistance and a target all the way up to 18 to 20 levels. And that is exactly where I would be very aggressive in dollar cost averaging into the markets as well, and be a little bit more aggressive when it comes to individual stocks and deploying cash back into the market. So volatility, like I said in my previous videos, will not give you a lot of serious buying opportunities, but when it does, we need to take advantage of those deals and those buying windows. And of course, in the last year, we've only seen 4, maybe 5, very handful of buying opportunities, serious buying opportunities from the volatility from the VIX as well. So that right there is going to continue to act as a little bit of that sort of support that's going to be sitting between 10 and 12, and of course target all the way up to 18 to 20 to as much as 23 levels on the volatility. Crude oil prices here also continue to consolidate sideways, so resistance is going to stay put at $73-$74 a barrel. So that is going to be that level to watch, with the support at $67 a barrel, and it's of course going to be that support level. And right now we're just consolidating sideways in that range at the moment for crude oil. The 10-year treasuries seeing some stabilization back above 4%. So this is where we are, a little bit over 4%. And of course, we have been selling off from highs of just over 5%. The 10-year treasuries are down over 20% from their highs. So that right there is going to be a lot of consolidation right now for treasuries, for 10-year yields, just a little bit over 4% at the moment. Now going over to the S&P 500 over here. CIBR, by the way, is another ETF that I picked up and started a new position in. Again, if you want to get access to all the alerts and find out exactly what I'm buying, what I'm selling, what options I'm trading, link's going to be down below. This ETF up another 1.66% and will continue to dollar cost average into this particular stock, this particular ETF as well. Talking about S&P 500, so a little bit of a rebound this week. It's up over 1.2%, but on the day, very, very flat. So not really moving all that much. And just under 4,800. That is, again, within striking distance of its all-time highs. And this right here is going to turn back into a support right now for S&P 500 and resistance all the way, as you guys already know, at 48 to 48.15 in line with its all-time highs. NASDAQ, on the other hand, also pushing higher, a little bit up over 9 basis points. So that recovery somewhat continues with the support level staying put at 14,400 to as much as 14,600. And of course, resistance and target all the way up to 15,400 for the NASDAQ. So that is going to be that level to watch for the NASDAQ. And of course, support level is going to stay put between 14.4 to 14.6 for the NASDAQ and all the way down to 13,800. Apple, on the other hand, also seeing a little bit of that bounce back higher from that 200 simple moving average. That's exactly one of the reasons why I have started a new position in Apple from a trading perspective, and support level is going to stay put down to 180, resistance all the way up to 189, close to $190 for Apple. All the way up to 198. That's pretty much going to be the all-time high. We've got the RSI, we've got the MACD very much lined up perfectly for a recovery, for a potential backup for Apple. And again, that's kind of bouncing off of that 200 simple moving average, and all the way down to 165 is going to be that next support level to watch for Apple even further. Talking about Amazon, and Amazon here also recovering really well, up a little bit over 1.5%. So next resistance and target is going to be up to 155. So that is going to be that next level to watch, with the support level sitting put roughly over here at close to $148. So that is going to be that level to watch, with the resistance, like I said, all the way up to 155 for Amazon moving forward. Tesla here, on the other hand, continues to drop further. That's exactly one of the reasons why I am looking at selling more calls, kind of hedging my potential downside, considering how weak it's been. Earnings are coming out later this month, and support level right now at that 200 SMA at $230, all the way down to 212 to as low as 196. So low 200s is where Tesla's support is going to be at the moment. Talking about Meta platforms, or before Meta, we're going to go over to NVIDIA. And NVIDIA here continues to rally higher with a very strong breakout, up another 1.7% to $531. And the market cap now sitting at over $1.3 trillion for NVIDIA. So absolutely incredible momentum coming in for this company. A very strong breakout from this ascending triangle, as we had already discussed in our previous videos. And now finally going over to advanced micro devices, a very nice recovery, also nice momentum up over 2%. And as a result, SMH, which is another one of those ETFs that I have been buying and dollar cost averaging into, is up another 27 basis points, up to 172 once again. But AMD, very strong momentum coming in. Again, of course, RSI, MACD showing some signs of potential upside, and we've got a resistance all the way up to as much as 156. So that is going to be that level to watch for AMD next, and support level is going to stay put down to $130 per share. Talking about PayPal, and PayPal here on the day down a little bit over 1%. So mostly consolidating sideways. Next resistance and target is going to be close to $63, $64. So that is going to be that next level to watch, with a support level at $56, $57 per share. So a lot of consolidation sideways. So 56, 57, a new support all the way down to $50 per share, and a resistance all the way up to 65 for PayPal moving forward. So that is going to be that next resistance, and the 200 SMA also making those lower highs, and of course getting a little bit of that rejection there from PayPal as well. So that is going to be that next target and that resistance at $65 for PayPal. Visa, on the other hand, continues to move up to new all-time highs, 263.62, up over 30 basis points. So lots of consolidation sideways here, and then a very nice breakout to the upside, and support level is going to stay put at $245 to $250 per share for Visa. So lots of consolidation. So previous resistance acting as a little bit of a support for Visa at the moment. So that's where we are, with a lot of very nice consistent uptrends of higher highs and higher lows, and hitting a new all-time high. So very strong momentum for Visa at the moment, with RSI and MACD also showing some signs of more potential upside. Meta platforms, on the other hand, consistently making trading inside this uptrending channel of higher highs and higher lows. So very, very nice consistent move up. Support level is going to stay put down to $353, and this right here is going to be inside this green rectangle, sitting between $315 and $330 per share. So that is going to be kind of in line with this previous resistance, acting as a support, and of course next target and resistance all the way up to $383 per share for Meta. Talking about Netflix, and Netflix here also consolidating sideways, down about 61 basis points right now, resistance all the way up to 485 to 496, close to $500 per share. And that is going to be that next resistance level to watch, with the support level staying put at close to $450 per share. So previous resistance acting as a support for Netflix, and resistance all the way up to 485 to 495, 450 levels to watch for Netflix. Talking about Google. And Google here continues to move up very, very nicely, up over 1.4%. So very strong momentum, and resistance is going to be all the way up to 144. So that is going to be that level to watch for Google. Kind of inside this red rectangle is going to be that area of resistance to watch for the company, and all the way up to $151 per share for Google as well. So that is going to be that next target beyond 144 for Google, with the support level, of course, sitting all the way down to 126, kind of in line with that 200 simple moving average as well. Microsoft, on the other hand, also just moving up a little bit, 29 basis points. It's been mostly consolidating sideways in that support, in that range, and 366 is going to be that level to watch, with the resistance all the way up to as much as 375 for Microsoft, all the way up to $384 per share. So lots of consolidation sideways for Microsoft, and again, support level is going to stay put at 366, 375 is going to be that next resistance and target, all the way up to $384 for Microsoft. And finally, we arrive at Enphase and Costco. So ENPH seeing a little bit of that recovery, 91 basis points, close to 1% back up to 117. I did sell some covered calls on Enphase today as well, as I do expect maybe there is potential for Enphase to consolidate sideways, or maybe even trade a little bit lower down to low 100s. Resistance is going to stay put at 131 to as much as 151 for Enphase, and of course support level is going to stay put down to low 100s for this company. And finally, we got Costco, and Costco here continues to move up very, very nicely, trading at another almost a new all-time high, up another 83 basis points, and it's mostly just been consolidating sideways in this range for Costco. So we got a resistance up to 668 and a support level down to 642. So lots of consolidation sideways in that range for Costco at the moment. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and a complete update on the markets here. The bottom line is inflation numbers are coming out later this week, so markets are somewhat continuing on that momentum from last couple of weeks. In fact, from end of 2023, we're starting to see a little bit of that recovery back up. So of course, first week of 2024, we did see a bit of a pullback, and now the markets are starting to recover just a little bit back up. But inflation numbers are really what's going to dictate where the markets end up going from these levels moving forward. So we'll be live. I'll be covering those reports and those numbers later this week. So hope you all enjoyed this video, found it helpful. If you did, make sure that you drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Again, links to our Discord and Patreon is going to be down below if you're interested in joining. And as always, happy investing. I'll see you all in the next video.